In this video, we're going to look at adaptations. We're going to define adaptations, and then we're going to look at the three different types of adaptations: physical adaptations, functional adaptations, and behavioral adaptations. An adaptation is any characteristic that makes an animal better at doing whatever it is it does. And this might be an adaptation so it can live in a certain area. For example, having thick fur to live in cold climates, or it might make it more camouflaged, so therefore it's not being attacked by prey, or it might make it better able to get its food source. So a bird with a particular shaped beak can be adapted to, for example, cracking nuts to get food from them. We have three classes of adaptations, and we'll go through those three different types of adaptations now. First one is physical adaptations, and physical adaptations you can actually see. They're physical, you can see them, you can point to them. And they could be external, so they could be outside the animal, or they could be internal, inside the animal, so you have to cut it up to actually point at them. An example of this would be echidnas. Echidnas' food source is ants, and in order to get the ants out of the ant holes in which they live, echidnas have very long tongues, so they can get down into the ant hole and scoop the ants out. So therefore they're more adapted to their food source than other animals are with shorter tongues. Functional adaptations are a little bit different and a little bit harder to get your head around. You can't actually see a functional adaptation. It's on the cellular level that there is an improvement, that it's adapted. So an example of this would be bears. We all know that bears hibernate in winter. So during winter there isn't much food for the bears to eat. So what they do, rather than being up all winter and starving, they actually go into a cave where it's reasonably warm, and they lower their heart rate, and they actually lower their heart rate from, usually it's about 200 beats per minute, and they get it down to about 20 beats per minute. And they also lower their metabolism, so how much energy they're burning in their body. And they lower that by about 3/4. So therefore they don't use up as much food, and they can sleep throughout the whole winter. They don't have to actually go out and hunt food to keep their bodies going. The last type of adaptation is a behavioural adaptation. And this is an adaptation that either can be learned, so taught from parents, or it can be an innate adaptation, an innate behavioural adaptation. An example of this would be, again, when food is scarce in the winter. This time squirrels, what they do is they know that the food is going to be scarce in the winter, so in the good months, in summer and spring, they hoard or store up nuts so that they can eat them throughout the winter. So they actually go and they store it all up. So this is a behavioural adaptation that helps them survive throughout winter. Okay, in this video we've looked at what adaptations are. We've looked at physical adaptations, adaptations that you can see and point at, either outside or inside. We've looked at functional adaptations, which occur on the cellular level, so down inside, how the cell works. And we've looked at behavioural adaptations, being how the animal acts.